Okay, so today we are going to upgrade this motor to be able to operate in an environment with an ambient of above 65, or at 65. Alright, so to do this we're going to have to expose the bearings, repack the bearings with high temperature grease, and that's what we're going to walk you through here. So first thing, you want to take off your keyway, put it somewhere safe. We're going to have to remove both the front and the rear housings. To do that, we're going to need to remove the rear housing first, and then we knock the rotor through the front. So to do that, we take off the fan cover. To expose the rear housing. Alright, it's just 3 screws that hold that on. And alright. Slide off. Get this out of the way. Alright. Next thing we want to do is remove this down a little bit. Remove the fan here, cooling fan. Right. Just loosen it up. And alright, the table's kind of moving there. Alright, and you just get a little bar behind there and start wiggling it. Don't make big moves, and you'll be fine. Then it comes off. Get out of the way. Alright, next thing is we need to remove the casing bolts. So it's a 7/16. Now the other ends are 3/8. A lot of times you can just quickly you can break it free. You don't have to secure the bolt on the other side. Alright. There's 4 of these, so okay, there you go. So those are broken free, and just take one out at a time. That one. 2, 3, and the final one. Now, on some motors it may be more important than others, but I like to mark the alignment of the front and the aft housing. So you just pick a spot, kind of make a mark. On this one, not so important because you got the grease fittings, you kind of know where it's going to be at. Alright, so now we need to take the rotor out, and to do that, what I do is I'll just hit the back end of the shaft, and it'll kind of break it all free. So here we go. And that was it. Get the back housing off. I just do a couple little taps here. Nothing big. It's there. It is. All right. Back housing comes off. Set that out of the way. Way. Kind of watch your spring washer. Typically, it stays in the housing for the most part. Every now and then it stays on the shaft. Okay. All right. So now we're going to take the rotor out. All right. So take the rotor out. You just slide it forward. Nice and gentle. Okay. Alright, there's that. Now to take the front housing off, you have to remove these two bolts that actually lock the front housing to the rotor. So sometimes these are easier than others to actually get it come out. Of course, threads. All right, let's do this. There's the hybrid. Out. That one. That one. Go. And now to get this off, sometimes you do need to use a mallet to get it off. But sometimes you get lucky and a couple little hits. Good to go. And there's this is actually a grease port. It goes down here. The grease fills up this cavity to actually lubricate the bearings. So we'll get to that in a minute. All right, so what we want to do is just to be clean. Stuff off there. Wipe this down a little bit. All right. So to get the grease into this bearing, for some reason they've included sealed bearings, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a grease port, being able to maintain it. So you just take a sharp object, slip it down up towards the race, and this way, I mean, if you want to put this back on, you can put it back on. I think in our application, it's going to be better not to have this on, so we can actually continuously provide fresh oil or grease to the bearings. I'm using a Molykote 44. It's good up to 302 Fahrenheit. And all I'm going to do, there's not a lot of grease in these bearings. I am just going to overpack them. The greases are compatible. So that is very lucky. What's in the bearings currently is a SHC 220, which is good up to 250 Fahrenheit. So just pack it in there, really purge the bearings. I know some people say that you shouldn't do this, and I know what the application for this is, and the top temperature is 65. So, all right. That's good. All right, so that's that bearing.
Put the last 15 on it.
So now we're going to do the aft side bearing. Lift that baby up. Drop it down. All right. Go ahead and wipe this off. Sorry about the noise in the background. It's doing this out on the shop floor. All right. There's that. New bag. Oops. All right. Same thing here. Just use a little sharp screwdriver. Get up under that 10 cover. I like to switch it up to a larger screwdriver. It does less damage to the steel. Oops. But I'm not reusing those, so not a big deal. A little bit of residual there. All right. So again, we fill this cavity up. High temperature grease. Just kind of pack it down into the bearings, and
so it says 400 and 401, and then on the side here it's 404 and 405.
Yeah. I don't know why it's changed. It might not have been when we were always looking at that.
No, it said it like that.
okay. All right, there's that. Awesome. So, go back on our grease. We're going to be using this in a second again. Wrap this back here, bud. All right. Flip this baby back over. And we're going to put front housing back on. Here's the front housing. A little bit of grease there is down in that fitting, that channel. I like to give it a little wipe. Just clean it out a little bit. And then take our high temperature grease and inject it into the raceway. All right. Okay, so this is kind of, I just packed it in there. So now we're going to put this back on.
Oh, God, no.
Tap it down a little bit. All right, finger off. Cap back on our grease. All right. And just lift up the little plate and rotate it around to find the actual screws. Let's see, it's right about over here. It's in there somewhere. Up there it is. Alright. One. And then alright, there's that. Just a little nut driver to
It pays to be a man in this situation.
Alright.